Oh, shit. Okay, wait. I actually was going to make a joke about, there was some poop related thing. Fuck, I didn't write it down. I wrote so many things down for notes to myself.
And this is Gatriarchs.
So this week, several times, I was reminded by my 11-year-old that she is not any longer a 3 or 4-year-old. There have been several times. Now, don't take this out of context. Do not, the entire world take this out of context. But there have been a couple of times that, for instance, I was like walking up the stairs after her and wanting her to hurry up, and she was going up to brush her teeth, and I was just patting her butt, like giving a little daddy pat, right? And she's like, "Daddy, stop doing that. I'm not 4 anymore." And I have to say, you're going to see, you don't get to pat your kids' butts anymore. We used to have this adorable, hilarious, oh God, I hope this doesn't make me sound like a weirdo, an adorable regimen where at night we would be saying goodnight and we would say prayers, and I would say, "And bless this little butt cheek, and bless this little butt cheek, and bless this little butt." And I would just go back and forth, and it made the kids scream with laughter. And I'm not allowed to do it anymore, which is good. I mean, she's drawing her limits and she's like being independent and she's pushing back and whatnot. But there have been many conversations that I've had actually a couple of years ago when my kids were a bit younger with some other dads in the hallway waiting for school to start, where we would joke about how like, I wonder when it's going to be inappropriate, but I still like being able to touch my kid's butt because it's cute. Butts are cute, And
also, it's just part of the kind of parenting experience. You're holding them by the butt.
Yeah.
Like it's just, no, totally. There's a really great TikTok I saw recently. It was talking about the teenage years and like why teenagers are such fucking assholes during their teenage years. And he was saying it goes back to like a biological impulse, is that when they hit puberty, in order to avoid inbreeding, they would leave their families and leave their tribes to go to another tribe in order to not do the inbreeding. And so he was saying, so instead of like fighting against that, he goes, what they do is that they look at you as parents and think you're fucking idiots.
Yeah.
But they don't think that about all parents. So he was like, what you want to do is you want to surround your kids with other adults that they'll go to that can reflect the same things, like the morals or the structure or whatever that
Values.
you want to do. Yeah, exactly. So it was a really fascinating thing, because I know you're just about to hit the teenage years and I'm far away from that. But I was thinking, but like it was a really good thing to think about, is like this is happening to them biologically, and in a way to kind of help them still guide them is to make sure they're surrounded by good people and not people like you and I who are horrible people.
Really glad that you directly linked my story about patting butts to the word incest. Cool.
Yeah,
cool.
You're welcome.
It's absolutely true. It makes perfect sense. There's nothing abnormal about her pushing back for sure. But
so speaking of abnormal, weird incest.
Good.
Yeah, I came to a realization this week. So we were in public, and my kids were with my husband. I think they were going to the bathroom or something. So I was by myself. It was just me, and another dad walked by with this like 3-year-old girl, and she was like doing silly stuff or whatever. And I was looking at the little girl and smiling and like laughing, and I was just thinking about my kid. You know how it is. You're like in the parenting community. And then I'm like laughing and looking at this little girl, and then I look up to catch the eyes of the dad, who's looking at me and looking at me like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
Oh no!
Daughter?
Yes,
and I had that realization that from his perspective, this lonely old 43-year-old man is looking at my daughter,
flirting with my daughter,
smiling and talking to them. And I wanted to be like, no, I have kids too. We're in the kid. But it was so funny, because I always, now, you know how it is. Now I look at kids differently, and I think about my kids when I look at their kids, or maybe they're having a meltdown, and I kind of like have a smile to them, being like, oh, I've been there before. But from the other parent's point of view, they just see the strange guy looking at their children. Yeah. So I was like, okay, that's something I need to remember when I'm just like staring at another person's child, is like, I look like a creep to them.
I was frantically looking through the underwear section of Walmart last night because my kid, my daughter, needed a last minute thing for a Spirit Day thing. She really wanted a white tutu. And I'm like, I don't know where to find a white tutu.
I can let her borrow one of mine. I have a couple.
Well, if I had only planned ahead of time, I wouldn't have been a complete failure of a dad, who was then walking around the preteen section section, looking at like behind the bras, through the underwear, being like, where, because they told me to look in the dance section. I'm like, okay, well, basically I'm looking at underwear. Are there any white tutus around? And I was thoroughly looking, and I thought, man, if these cameras are watching me right now, I must look like such a weirdo. And yet,
what a way for us to start this episode!
Isn't it?
Just creepy, gross things. I swear, this is really representative of who we are. Honestly, let's just move on to the top 3 list because listen, it's getting worse. So
we might as well get there.
Is your list?
Yes.
Tell us about this week.
This week, I was thinking about who are the professions that turn you on. Tell me what you think are the 3 hottest professions. With all due respect to all of my friends out there who are, chemists and mathematicians, you are not on the list. But I want to know what you think. So, number 3, I mean, come on, firefighters.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Totally.
It's so cliche, I don't even need to explain it.
Yeah.
Number 2, photographers. Because I feel like male photographers are often very forthright and creative. They often have like funky floppy hair. They've got that look in their eyes.
And they've got
like
smolders in their eyes.
They know how to smolder. And they have taken so many sexy pictures of other people, and yet they're just kind of cool about it. So I hear that about photographers. And then number 1 for me, flight attendants.
Really?
I stare at every single one of them and I'm like, are you in the Mile High Club? Are you in the Mile High Club? Are you in the Mile High Club?
Maybe my sample of the flight attendants I've seen are a little skewed. But
maybe I'm not as superficial as you are, and I don't think that they need to be like totally hot Marky Mark flight attendants, but there's just something about
modern
their uniform.
reference there, Gavin.
But there's just something about their. I that goes back to last week's conversation about the hot murderers, and I was thinking about Mark Wahlberg. That's what it was. But like, hey, the dude's in uniform, and they're they're there to serve, and I just wonder, have they all had sex in the bathroom? That's what it comes down to. Number 1, flight attendants.
They probably have. I mean, come on. I mean, like that would be them having sex at work, by the way. All right. So my top 3 list, top 3 hottest professions. Number 3, lifeguard. But wait.
Oh, yeah.
A very specific kind of lifeguard. The lifeguard at a water park at the top of a slide that tells you when you can and can't go down. Something about that position in the lifeguarding community, they're always so sexy. Or the one they'll like push your tube down. Like they're the ones who like choose. Yeah. Number 3, lifeguard at the top of the slide.
Okay. All right.
Number 2, prison guard.
Totally.
There's a prison guard. There's a guy who's a prison guard who brings their kid to my kid's daycare, and swims.
It's the uniforms.
It's the uniform. There's a power and a confidence that is
totally.
And number 1, thank you Jesus, carpenter.
Carpenter.
There's something about a carpenter, like a craftsman, even maybe a contractor that is like, and maybe it goes to my carpet guy, the TikTok carpet guy.
Yes.
But like something about a carpenter, he's got those big hands, and there's something very sexy about a carpenter.
I was going to have carpenter on my list. I'm not going to lie.
Nice.
But I realized I know in my area where I live, there are so many contractors and so many carpenters. I don't want them to all think that I lust after them, but you're welcome, guys. I'm absolutely lusting after all of you on the soccer field, let me tell you. So what is next week's top 3 list going to be, David?
All right, so we're going to move it back to kids just for a week. I know. So next week, our top 3 list will be the top 3 non-toy toys. So top 3 things that kids are obsessed with that are absolutely not toys.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so our guests this week are 2 guys that I met on the internet, which, to be honest, would describe like half of the men who stumbled through my front door. They are former members of the U.S. military. They're escapees of living in Florida, which we're going to talk about. And they are current residents of Brazil. They are expecting twin girls any minute, which
Amazing.
Is insane and so exciting. So please give a big Gatriarch's mouth hug to Will Silva and James Issac. Hi, guys.
Hey, guys. Thank you for being here.
You had to say twin girls. Oh my god.
I know. Twin girls. Like, do you think you're ready?
No. Who's ready for that ever?
I actually appreciate you saying that because I think a lot of people before their parents are like, oh no, I'm prepared and I'm ready for this. And I'm so excited. But we really, I like the honesty of like, I don't know what I'm fucking doing. None of us know what we're doing.
No. Like I was recruited to the gay brotherhood in my early 20s. I experimented with vaginas, in my younger years. But I don't-
Exactly what I was
And
gonna
a
say.
drag queen read a book to you, and you became gay.
yeah. No. I became gay like every kid that grew up in the 90s became gay. I saw Chris O'Donnell and Batman and Robin, and that was it.
That is 100% every kid's story in the 90s.
Well
And
said.
Not until
Well
you
said.
said that did I realize that's my story.
Yeah,
that is
that's
so
all our
many.
story.
I mean, it was that and like what was the underwear catalog that was like really slutty? It wasn't To Exist. It was
It was Sears.
Oh,
it
To
was the
Exist?
Sears catalog. With
there was
underwear
the
section.
Sears and the J.C. Penney, but there was like a really slutty one where like all of the fabric was like see through a little bit.
I mean,
And it
To
was, like-
Exist was pretty slutty, but there was even more than that.
Yeah, but yes,
Okay.
Chris O'Donnell as oh my god, like
Well
that
said.
you have just brought me to a place.
And
that
Mark,
is-
every single Marky Mark video.
Oh, man.
But Chris O'Donnell's a really good specificity. I love that. Wait, so you you chose to be gay after seeing Chris O'Donnell, right?
I didn't have much of a choice. Like, I mean, I guess I could have changed the channel, but I didn't.
I definitely mean that in jest, just in case my sarcasm doesn't come across podcast. But the fact is, nobody knows what they're doing as a parent for the first time. And so you know that. So are you nervous excited or just excited? And how are you filling your time knowing that you will have no more time ever for the rest of your life? It's starting in just a few weeks.
So, like, finding out initially that we had twins, there was like the initial terror. Like, oh shit, there's two of them. Like before we outnumbered them. So when it was us against the baby, we could still probably win.
Yeah.
But now there's two of them. They can divide and conquer. So
and they will.
And they will. Yeah.
That's
like
fine. That's
fine. But yeah, it's excited but scared. Yeah.
Are you filling your time by fretting and shopping, or are you just like going out to dinner and watching a bunch of porn and hanging out and just enjoying your time without kids
And cruising the beach.
and
eating cookies, which I saw Will doing the other day.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've been kind of like trying to mix and match. We're trying to be responsible and like getting things prepared, like painting and getting like, we have a crib and we have all these diapers and a bunch of stuff because, we don't know what we're going to really need. And so we're trying to get as much as we can that's reasonable. But at the same time, we're like, okay, look, we got like this many days left. So like we went to the US for a month and we're going to the beach all the time. We're going to some, gay places that I won't get into.
Yep. Some gay venues.
Yes.
And listen, I'm sure people have told you this before, but take the stress away of the stuff. If you have diapers, bottles, and wipes,
That's all.
The end of that is honestly for the first couple of months. That's all you need.
Yeah.
All
Many
the other
months.
things you'll be fine with. But like those are your that's like the Holy Trinity.
Right.
Now after that, everything else is just like paint and fun
And
and
stuff.
Instagram stuff. Yeah, those are the three things that we use all the time daily. It's exciting for me to kind of live vicariously through you because there is something so exciting about this impending thing that's arriving that you have no real control over. Like they are gonna come when they fucking please,
Exactly.
and when they do, they'll be like, "I'm here, bitch, wipe my ass," and that is the adventure you guys have.
And you'll be like, I've heard that before.
Yes.
But anyways.
But so I jokingly said we met on the internet, but we literally met on the internet. We are all members of some like gay parents groups, and you had posted initially that you guys were pregnant and you had some questions or whatever. And when I read your post and we started chatting a little bit, I realized that your story is so fucking fascinating. So I wanted to just like talk to you guys about your story of like how you got to waiting
Today.
for two twin girls
Yeah.
to arrive. So both of you are former military. So tell me a little bit about like how you joined the military and how you met each other.
Do you want to start?
I'll start. Yeah. So I was born, raised Florida.
I'm so sorry. Me too.
I know. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm not there anymore, so things get better. So I was 19, joined the Navy. I was like, I need to get out of here. And I was like, oh yeah, 4 years and just figure out where I want to go to college after that and blah, blah, blah. So 10 years later, I'm still in the military, but I was in for 10 years. But about halfway through, I was stationed in Monterey, California. And that's where I met this guy who was also stationed in Monterey, California with the Air Force. So he was going to school there. I was working as basically faculty at a school.
And you met in church, I assume, right?
Yeah, we met at church, and it was during a sermon. And well, I mean,
but you actually met on Adam for Adam, which for the younger gays out there, pre-Grindr, pre-Craigslist, really. I mean, Craigslist was a thing.
It was
Craigslist was a
but-
thing, but it was not. It was like Manhunt, Adam for Adam, or like the chat rooms were like the two big, but they were web based. It wasn't like in your pocket, and people forget that. Like you had to log on to a computer to chat with people.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
or you had to have one of those newfangled phones that could like get on the internet.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And so one night, I stayed back. It was while we were in the military. I stayed back home watching like friends' dogs and cats and stuff like that. And I was like, no, I'm not doing this. I already spent Christmas going to people's houses all day. All the cats and dogs were okay. I'm going to go out tonight on New Year's Eve. And I sent him, well, actually, like I logged on to Adam for Adam and was like, okay, I got to find somebody. Like, let's see if I find anybody. Otherwise, I'll just go out on my own. And I sent this like, Adam for Adam back then was kind of like Grindr in the sense of like the pictures where everybody's just posting their like, dicks and butts. So occasionally you'd find like a face picture or something like that. So I was like, all right, let's just send messages to, these 5 face pictures I've seen. So I sent them out, went and took a shower, and I came back to check my messages, and I was like, oh, look, there's all these replies. So I'm just like, clicked on the first one, and I was like, I looked at the timestamp, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this person replied to me at the exact same time that I sent the message. And wow, they sent the same message. Weird. Oh, that's so cool. So I like replied, and I was like, yay, that's so neat. And I pointed this out, right? Only to find out that it was actually just my original sent message. It wasn't a reply at all. That was him. So that's how that worked.
So on my end, I randomly get 2 messages from this guy. One saying, hey, I want to go to a block party tonight. Would you want to meet up? And 2, him replying to his own message saying, oh my God, I can't believe you sent the same thing as I did. And I was like, this guy's an idiot.
And you're like, who is this fucking idiot psychopath? Let's go
cute.
out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think I literally said, that was kind of dumb, but you're cute. Let's go out.
I mean, that's how love happens. People
And that's
don't
how,
understand
and
it.
now we're 10 years later.
So you met, you fell in love, you waited till marriage, of course, to have sex. And then you're in Brazil now. I need backtrack that for me. You guys are in Southern California. How did you get to Brazil?
Well, we were kind of in Northern California.
Okay.
Monterey is in Northern California. But
It's a geography, David.
Yeah.
Jeez.
He was born and raised in Brazil.
I was born in Brazil, and I lived here till I was like 5 or 6, and immigrated to the U.S. So I'm one of those first gen people, and so that's the connection to Brazil. But we were both still in the military. We go through our military issues, and we actually got married while in the military because it was on top of hey, we're doing great. I think we're gonna continue doing great. But also this is going to help us financially and with base location choices and getting to live off of the actual base, things like that. So we're like, let's do it. So it was only 8 months after we met that we married. And
Yeah.
But this was during Don't Ask, Don't Tell, correct?
It was right after.
Yeah.
It was right
So,
after the repeal of Don't Ask,
the
Don't Tell.
marriage itself was right after. Or
So
actually,
you
we met
guys
right
were
after, yeah.
together and dating conceivably in the active military, but couldn't talk about it, right?
Don't Ask, Don't Tell.
Both of us individually were.
Yeah.
When we met, it was right after because Don't Ask, Don't Tell was 2011, towards the end of the year 2011, and we met in 2012, the end of 2012. So
Okay.
when we were dating, it was okay to talk about already, but each of us went through the individual stages of hey, we can't talk about this or else we could get booted and dishonorably so.
And I am kind of curious to ask though, was the military a good experience for you guys? Did it, for instance, James, did it get you said, I want 4 years, go figure out my life, come back, and did you both had, I hope, positive experiences ultimately?
Did you figure out your life is the question.
I mean, the military for anybody is going to be good and bad. like I appreciate some of the things that happened in the military. You know, I definitely learned how to be a bit more organized and a bit tougher on certain things, but you know, it's a lot of separation from the people that you love, separation, you know, going and doing things you really just don't want to do, and that make no conceivable sense.
So
Did you feel like an outcast as a gay person? Like, how did your gayness affect your kind of military career personally?
For me, well, so my first 6 years in the Navy, I was stationed in Hawaii.
Okay.
So, you know, terrible duty.
Good call for the Navy, huh?
Yeah,
That's
good
great.
call for the Navy. No, the thing about the gay community, especially like, you know, your Facebook groups and things like that, is, you know, the gay community there, it's pretty close knit and kind of incestuous, and so
Yeah.
you know, there was
that tracks. That tracks.
yeah, that tracks. So while I wasn't necessarily like close to people that I was stationed and worked with, I had a lot of friends and a pretty decent community there. So like, you know, things like, you know, I deployed to Iraq for a year and stuff like that. That was kind of hard because, you know, I'm not with my, you know, my friends, but,
But then, so like in Iraq, were you still living kind of authentically as a gay person? Or did you kind of like hide that just to kind of get through that year?
I mean,
Or were you
that
just surviving?
That was in the midst of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. So like that, you know, I'm living authentically as a gay person, one, in Iraq, and two, in the military. You know, it's just like, plus you're working 14, 15 hours a day, 7 days a week. So you don't have time to be your authentic self.
You don't have time to be gay. Honestly.
Yeah, you don't have
Or
time.
straight.
Or straight, honestly. It just takes up so much time.
How about you, Will? Did you was the military a positive experience for you?
Yes and no. Same kind of yes and no, but probably to bigger extremes than it was for James. So like the first 2 to 3 years of my life, you know, probably like the best years of my life. Like seriously, it was nonstop partying, and like it was like the college dorm experience, but like on steroids even. And it was amazing. And I met some people that I know to this day, like, you know, friends that are just lifetime friends. And then like, you know, some of it even related to Don't Ask, Don't Tell. Like, you know, my first loss, I guess, of a friend was because of, you know, he was gay, and he ended up like committing suicide. And, you know, that really, really hit me because it was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you know, like it all just became even more real. And then it was just like a series of like losses, you know, whether due to the military or not. You know, like one was like a news story. A friend of mine, you know, her husband who was military killed her, like because he was like some kind of anti-Obama thing. And like he thought she found out and was going to tell me about. Anyway, it was like, and then the military, lots of friends that got deployed, you know, that were, like I said, you know, they were like brothers and sisters, and you know, didn't come back. And so that went on like a big, you know, train wreck for me in terms of like my mental state. And also like because of like the crazy hours I worked at NSA overnight. And a lot of these things just mixed together, and like I ended up developing like narcolepsy and like sleep apnea.
I would imagine it would totally screw you up if you're working nights all the time, huh?
Yeah. So anyway.
But the military brought you guys together.
That's true.
It did.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to go.
Well, really, Adam for Adam brought you guys together.
Well, yeah.
Let's be honest. And also, Will's like bananas brain that night. That's really what brought you guys together. So you guys moved back to Brazil when we were talking about this because you guys are conceivably retired. And you guys are babies.
I mean, yes, you are. And oh my God, that's amazing.
It is fantastic. So tell me about that thought process, because I think you told me a little bit on the phone, but let's go through it. Like, you guys left the military and you had a pension you were drawing on, and you realized that the conversion in Brazil was enough to live on. Is that right?
Yeah. So this is something that I've always kind of had in my mind. After getting out of the military, like the pensions, that did take a while. It was like a process, you know, but moving past that, we went to Florida first, and that's where we used our GI Bills, both of us. And so, because the GI Bill, they pay for your school and they give you BAH, which is like a housing allowance. And so we lived there. And that's when we started realizing, our pensions that by themselves without the GI Bill, like that's not very much money. Like it was helping us like maybe buy groceries. But like you said, the conversion rate, like back then when we first moved here, it was like 350, 375. And we were like, we'll calculate it, see how much it is. And also things are just cheaper here in Brazil. So let's do this. Since then, the exchange rate's gone even higher. It's 1 to 5 now. So, like the money that we make off our pensions is enough to live here pretty comfortably. Like $1,000 is 5,000 reais. So, when the minimum wage here is 1,000 reais, like we're making 5 times, the minimum wage here just from our pensions. And so
that's incredible. And one of my favorite porn stars lives in Brazil. So I'm very excited that you guys
what's
maybe
the
run into
one?
him. His name is Seth Forney.
Oh no, I don't know that one.
He's like this like muscly ginger who's like this like anyway. This is why we invited you on the show. Can you introduce me to Seth? No, just kidding. But so you guys came to Brazil. Now let's talk about babies, because that's really why you're here. Other than your really interesting story is like you guys decided you wanted to have kids. Did you both want to have kids when you met?
No.
Just me.
Yeah, that was Will. And I was very, very unhelpful in the decision-making process.
Okay.
He was like, "Oh, do you want kids?" And I was like, "I don't think I want kids until we have kids."
And I was like, "Okay, look, that's not how it works. We're gay.
No.
It can't just happen."
Yeah.
So it was more me just kind of being like, "Look, if you want them, you're gonna have to take the lead on them, and I'll go along with it."
And I'm like the most indecisive person in the world. So for me, saying something like that is like, okay, you take the lead on this decision. And I'm like, no, we have to make decisions together. We're a couple. We're married. Like, I can't,
If straight people had to decide together to have children prior to having them, there would be so few left.
Oh,
so
we'd
many.
be done in 2 generations.
I mean, it's wild.
Survive.
Like us gay people, we have to like have conversations and planning and stuff, and they can just literally like
They just bottle of Chardonnay and it's done.
And a Michael Bublé.
And Michael Bublé and a box of Franzia.
How are the Brazilians? How is your community, and how does Brazil look upon gay couples with surrogacy?
Brazil is, I think, pretty fine with gay people. Honestly, it's the surrogacy that they more like. I don't even necessarily know if the word is looked down on. They just kind of look askew at.
It's confusing.
They don't
for
understand
them.
that.
Yes. Like, so we've been going to hospitals, trying to pick which one we want to take our surrogate to. She's 33 weeks tomorrow, and we need to find everything, right? So
you need to be ready. Sorry, I don't mean to stress you out, but
no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
We're like looking at our phones.
Yeah,
every,
we have our
5
phones
minutes.
nearby at all times now. So. But, we went to hospitals, and, the first hospital we went to, we actually had a little bit of negative, like this, it was an older lady. So she was like, that's not how that works. You need a man and a woman. And like, I was like, no, she's, the surrogate, she's not the mother. And she's like, maybe in your head, she's not the mother. And I'm like, this is gonna
it's so funny. The words you use are so important when you do surrogacy, and depending on where. Like, I was fortunate enough to do both of our rounds of surrogacy in Portland, Oregon, which is like the most surrogacy friendly state, and everyone understands that like this is a birth mother, or this is a surrogate, or this is a gestational surrogate, or this is an egg donor, and they're not mom this, mom that. So, but in a lot of places, even some of my best friends, we talked about a couple shows ago, where like some of my best friends didn't know how to describe the egg donor. They're like the mom, and so I understand how the words get wrong, especially in a country like Brazil, who maybe gay or surrogacy in general is not very common, and they think, if you give birth to the baby, that is the mom.
Right.
Yeah. So we're actually the first gay couple in the place that we specifically live.
Look at you breaking down barriers.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah. So like that's one of the issues. Like every hospital we went to, they've all been like, we've never had this before. What do we do? And so like we're sitting in this tiny room for like social assistants, and like they're getting the director and the captain,
9 people in this little
all the
room.
biggest people, right? And to talk about this and how they're going to do it, and once you get to the higher leadership, they're all like excited. They're all like, "Oh, this is great! You know, you're very welcome to do this here. We just don't know what to do. Like, how
Yeah,
does this
so
work?"
often
And
it's just new to people. So you have to be the leaders, and for better or for worse.
And and like you said, Gavin, like sometimes it's nice to be like, oh, we're breaking down barriers, we're changing people's minds, and then sometimes as gay people to constantly have to explain ourselves, to constantly be the first in somebody's lives, can be exhausting.
Yeah,
There's can be an exhaustion to
just
having
want to shake these people and be like, look, there are babies in her. They will come out. Once they're out, you give them to us.
Yeah,
that's it. That's all you got to do.
Did you try telling that to them in that exact way?
It's just.
And so, how is your Portuguese now, James? I would imagine you're studying, or how is both of your language skills?
So the thing is about Portuguese, like I can do enough to get around. I can tell people I'm hungry, thirsty, and horny, like whatever.
Really, that's the Holy Trinity. Yeah.
But like, I can go out on my own, and I can go to the gym or the grocery store and things like, and get all that done. But like sitting down and like actually talking to people, especially like the northeastern Brazilian accent, which is where we live, is very different from the rest of Brazil because they're all just savages here.
Wow. Wow.
But
we have a huge listenership in Brazil, so
really huge.
Don't be offended, anybody.
I think we've had 2 downloads.
Have at it.
Oh my gosh, all 2. Actually, I think those are me.
Actually, I was about to say that might be you guys.
I think I listened. I listened to a couple of your podcasts.
But does that feel isolating a little bit?
No, actually. I mean, because they're very friendly and they're very patient. They're very friendly. Yeah.
Sometimes he uses it as a defense mechanism.
Absolutely.
He's like, I'm glad I can't actually talk on some of these, so I could just say, no, I don't understand. Move on.
Yeah. Like if somebody's bothering me in public, I'll say in very clear English, like I don't speak Portuguese, even though I do a little bit.
Nice.
Nice. And that's usually enough to just get them to leave me alone.
And Will, do you speak Portuguese pretty well?
Yeah, so Portuguese is my first language, actually. So I learned English there in the States. That was really, really difficult. But I was also like 5 or 6, so I learned it very quickly. And I think that's given me like an ease for learning languages. In fact, in the military, I was a linguist, so I learned Arabic and French and all these other languages. So.
I mean, did you learn English by watching Friends like every other person?
I got to the U.S. I only knew the word yellow. And they threw me in school. Literally, they just threw me there. And it was awful because there was some, this is Wichita, Kansas. So there was my kindergarten teacher hated me. Like I knew it. And I was just like,
because she hated the color yellow and it's all you talk about.
Yeah, that's gotta be
Fucking
it.
Stop with the banana bullshit. Jesus.
No, it's discrimination, all right? But I did learn it really quickly there. Like it was just through school, eventually you're a kid. I think you just pick it up more easily. So
yeah. So once my daughters start going to school, I'll just go with them and I'll learn.
Did you hear what you just said? Daughters.
Yeah, I said daughters.
Daughters. You're gonna have daughters. Okay. So guys, tell me about how did you find this surrogate?
So my mom is super extroverted and. Here in Brazil, you're on your own for finding your surrogate. So they're not associated with the clinic. It's not like you go to a clinic, here's a list of surrogates, blah, blah, blah. No. So we have to find our own. And my mom basically was like, I'll find you one because we were kind of recovering from our first experience where we were like, maybe we shouldn't even do this anymore. And my mom's like, no, give me your sperm. I'll find you a surrogate. I'll do everything. And I'm like, okay, weird, but all right. And then so one day she's at like a bank. And she literally just exclaims to the bank. She's like, hey, my son's looking for a baby and I need a woman. And it's like, what? And strangely that worked because some lady was like, hey, I know some girls. And they get in contact. And next thing you know, there's a girl at the door or at my mom's house. And I came over. I didn't even know. I came over to visit. And there's this girl there and they're all talking about it. And I'm just like, what is going on? And next thing you know, now she's our surrogate.
I mean, that's a lesson for all of you out there who are looking to find a surrogate. Walk into your local bank and start yelling, I'm looking for girls.
The moral of the story is most problems can be solved or caused by Brazilian mother-in-laws.
And judging by your tone, James, I'm hearing there's a lot of stories back there that you're just going to leave, but there's a tone in your voice.
I mean, everybody who's married has a mother-in-law. I mean,
Yep.
usually, right?
Yep.
So,
Are they all Brazilian?
yeah, but they're not all Brazilian. But no, she's a dear little thing. She's like 4 foot and nothing. But
But she's good at yelling at a bank. She's
yeah.
really good at that. So you guys were initially double pregnant. Is that correct?
We were initially double pregnant.
And that is the post I think I initially met you on. Is you posted that you had 2 surrogates concurrently pregnant with twins, which if I'm doing my math right, let me take out my calculator, that's 4 children at the same time, or 4 kind of growing things in these bodies. So tell us a little bit about that.
So for that, like the surrogate, when we were double pregnant, it was it was the surrogate that my mother-in-law kidnapped from a bank, and this other surrogate was like an associate. We have a lady that will come and clean our house, and it was an associate of hers, and we met and we jived, and we went to a clinic, and the clinic was a little bit shady, I guess. We were so new to the process, and we just didn't know what our resources were. And so we kind of just went with it, and it resulted in a chemical pregnancy, but not anything that was going to grow. And so we were like, all right, well, we're just going to, take some time off and figure out if that's what we even want. And that's when, so that was before our twin girls. And then not long after we find out that we're having twins, she comes back, she's like, hey, I'm ready to try again if you guys want to. And we're like, well, like, we had embryos made from his sperm, we had embryos made from my sperm, all from the same egg donor. So we're like, well, we can't just tell her, nah, come back in a couple of years. We're already asking her to put her life on hold and grow some babies for us.
That makes sense. Let's consider it.
And so we're like, well, I guess we just really have to go with her timing on this. So we're like, all right.
Also, back to the Brazilian mother thing, my mom was like, no, you must have them all at the same time.
Oh,
so
God.
she was like,
pushing she wanted this. Like quadruplets.
I'm absolutely certain, looking back, that she was behind the scenes, like urging this girl to come back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like cyberbullying her.
For us, we were like, oh, yeah, you're available. I guess we should, But, yeah. Secretly.
So, we took her to the same clinic that we, have our, made our twins with. And everything was looking good. We got the positive pregnancy, the HCG levels.
Yeah, so the HCG levels were high enough that the doctor was like, it looks like twins. And that was when I made that post, and I was like, oh my gosh, we're pregnant, and this looks like twins again. And it's like, wow, so we have the twins and we're pregnant again with more twins. And it's like, if that's true, then they're going to be born like 5 months apart. Oh my gosh, what are we going to do? And I was freaking out. And that's when things was like, hey.
That was
that's when I popped into your DMs.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, boys.
Yeah. So, and so, we go to the 8-month scan, and it's only showing one baby. 8 weeks.
It was
scan,
actually
8 months.
7 weeks.
7 weeks, whatever.
Yeah.
And only showed one baby. So like, 2 had implanted, but 1 hadn't grown. And we were dealing with a singleton, which honestly, the thought of 3 babies sounded so much infinitely more manageable than 4 babies. That I was like a little relieved, a little sad, a little relieved.
Pretty happy.
Yeah. And then
that's understandable.
And then, it wasn't too long after that we, got the notification that she was
later.
About a week later that we got the notification that she was having a miscarriage. So, so it was, it was a failure, but, not something that we can't recover from.
Yeah, but it's also something to keep in mind is that like it's for people out there who don't do IVF or IUI or whatever, is that like chemical pregnancies, miscarriages, so common.
Often.
Yeah.
So common.
It's so helpful for you to even talk about this, frankly, because, hey, we have a lot of women listening and a lot of men listening, and for everybody to realize that it is a miracle that we are any of us are actually here.
Yeah.
And it is very common, and it's sad, but it's very common. What you've gone through in my surrogacy process, we went through something similar. And, the unsolicited advice that I got from somebody at the time was, you are going to get the kids that you're meant to have. And it's true. You don't look back thinking what you missed out on. And it is sad, but It's part of your resilience as you grow forward as parents.
Exactly.
But thanks for sharing it.
Yeah, thank you. And as Gavin said, you have 2 little girls that you're about to meet in the next month. So before we let you go, tell me, like, what do you imagine it's going to be like when those twins arrive?
So my biggest concern is the girls part, right? So I am a gold star, platinum star, diamond star gay. I was like, I've never touched a vagina in my life. No, I was a C-section. I didn't even, breastfeed. My mom was like, no, I didn't want it. I wanted
that
it.
That is another level.
So gay from just the very get-go.
Yeah, like just out. Yeah, there was zero. Yeah. I was like, no, Mom, I don't want that breast. Give me the bottle. That's way more phallic.
I mean, this makes all the more sense that she would go walking into a bank saying, somebody, some woman out there has got to help.
So, Will, you and I talked about this on the phone, and we connected so well on this because I felt the exact same way. We had a boy for our first kid, and our second kid was a girl. My first thought was like, I'm so nervous to be around that, not for any other reason than I don't know, and I feel weird asking, and all I can tell you from somebody who's now, my daughter's 15 months old, is that it took me about 2 diaper changes, and then I was over it. And it was the second diaper change when her vulva was full of diarrhea, and I had to scoop it out with a wipe that I finally was like, oh, I'm in it. This is it. I am a parent, and there's something that takes over your body that it's not there yet, but as soon as those girls are in your arms, it is just going to become like whatever I do to make them happy or healthy or clean or whatever. But I had really uncomfortable conversations with our pediatrician, and I asked him, I was like, how do I clean? How far do I push in? I was really nervous because I felt like, is this weird that I'm asking this? Is it weird that, like, I just didn't know what I was doing, and I was so afraid of it. And that is so beyond, like, that is so gone as of like day 2. So it will feel weird, and you will ask really uncomfortable questions to these poor Brazilian nurses who are going to be looking at you like, what? You don't even know anything. But I'm telling you, like, it's going to be old news. But I totally get what you're feeling. I felt the exact same way.
Like, because we talked on the phone briefly like a couple of weeks ago, and when you literally said there's going to be shit in her vagina.
Yeah,
literally. And that was like a clarifying one, because I know obviously the anatomy down there, the logistics, it all makes sense that it's going to go in there. But like just hearing somebody say that out loud, there's going to be shit in your daughter's vagina that you have to clean out.
That is up to you to clean because she can't do it herself. And honestly, we talked about this last week. Infant shit does not follow the same rules of physics that the rest of the earth does. So just know that, like, oh no, there will be times where you will you'll open her diaper and there'll be no shit in the front, but she'll have shit on her neck, and you're gonna literally go, how did she do that? And it's because the laws of physics don't exist.
But you won't even be able to ponder those laws of physics because you'll have another one to change at exactly the same time too. So you get very little contemplation time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I want to do a little experiment with you. We might cut out all of this, but I want to do a little experiment, okay? I've been concocting some questions here on the side. These are meant to be just gut response questions, okay? Oh, no. Basically, I want to do a test right now to see if we can come back and talk to you in, say, 6 months and see if the answers still stand up, okay?
Yeah,
and
you
David,
guys have to come back.
I welcome you to add to this as well, and this doesn't have to sound as slick as... We'll edit this to make it sound slick, okay? Don't overthink it. You can just give some yes or no questions or some impulsive responses, okay?
Okay.
All right. Will your kids be able to use iPads?
Yes.
Will they have... what are their interests going to be?
Catherine...
Chemistry?
Yeah. Catherine's going to be a biochemist. Talia's going to be a stripper.
Oh, my God. I'm obsessed with you.
Will you feed them chicken nuggets?
Yes.
No. Nice.
Are they going to sleep in bed with you?
Yes.
No.
Excuse you?
Will you have when you're sitting and playing on the floor with your kids, will you have your phone out texting and reading the newspaper?
No.
I can't wait to ask you about that.
No, I will tell you what will happen. I will have like Schitt's Creek playing on in the background on the TV.
Okay.
Downton Abbey. I'll be paying attention to those while I'm playing, but I won't have my phone out.
See, what I love about you, James, is that you understand that there's two parts. There's two wolves inside of you. There's the Florida, which is the stripper, and then there's the Brazil, which is the chemist. So you want to make sure that your children follow in that same path.
Yeah.
Are you reading any guidebooks to parenting right now?
Good. Well, never mind.
Yeah, I mean, look, listen. Gavin is fucking with you a little bit. You are already prepared.
Yeah,
you are
fine.
enough.
You're fine.
You have enough stuff. You have all the
you're gonna be
knowledge
fine.
you need. Everything you need to know. You're either going to ask somebody for help for, or
Yeah,
you're going
exactly.
to make up on the spot.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, you guys are going to be totally fine. He's fucking with you a little bit because it's kind of fun, but you guys are going to be totally fine. You have everything you need, and everything from here on is just going to be like, I don't know, what the fuck do we do now? I guess we'll try this. And that is parenting. That's parenting. It's just making it up as you go along.
Exactly.
And I still am. I have a 9-year-old and a 10-year-old and an 11-year-old. See, and I'm just making it up as I go along. Let me ask you a couple more questions, okay? For
sorry.
fun.
Oh God.
Do you think you'll ever get bored?
Yes.
No.
Are you following any philosophies of parenting?
No.
What do you think the first solid food will be?
Mashed beans.
Mashed beans, yeah.
Will they join the military?
Ooh, one of them might.
One of them might.
Will you do Disney?
I mean,
Will Disney be allowed in the house, movies and whatnot?
Yeah.
Okay. Will you go to Disneyland World?
maybe when they're, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Do you think you'll heat bottles?
Yes.
Don't.
Well,
Okay.
Don't.
Oh.
I texted you, Will.
What do you mean?
Do not. Fresh from the fridge. Mix those bottles, put them in the fridge, freezing cold, give them to them starting on day one. They will
cold?
freezing.
Yes, absolutely.
Cold. Here's why.
Is that a life hack?
Yes, it's
Yes,
a life hack.
it
Here's
is.
why you do that. Because your kids only know what they know. So there's all these bottle warmers and wipe warmers and blah, blah. Fuck that shit. Have them understand that food is cold and it will change your life.
And sometimes
because
it's
you will-
warm. It's fine.
And no, but make it cold as much as possible because then they'll never balk at it. Same thing with wipes. Wipes are cold. It hits your butt. It's cold. Now they're used to it. So whenever you're out in the wild and you have to make a bottle real quick or you have to do wipes, then you're not worried. Where's the warmer? Where's the warmer? I'm telling you, from day one, fresh out of the fridge. Then you can make all your bottles for the day in the morning.
Yeah.
And then you don't have to make any more bottles for the rest.
Yeah.
You need to write a
Brilliant,
book.
Yeah.
Stick with me for life.
Write a book that I won't read.
Yeah. No,
I'll read it.
Guys, thank you so very much for taking time. You are making the world a better place, both in Florida, Brazil, and beyond. And we appreciate you sharing some of your vulnerabilities and your story because you sharing your story is is helping all the rest of us too.
And
Thank
we are
you.
so excited for you guys. You are going to have a blast. You don't worry about anything. You have this, and we want to check
have
in
it.
with you 6 months from today on episode whatever that will be, and we'll see kind of where you're at, and you can introduce us to your biochemist and stripper daughters.
Yes,
Aw,
yes.
thank
If we're-
you
if
guys
we're-
so much as well for inviting us to do this. Like even just this conversation we've had today has just like really been uplifting about everything. And
Good.
just
You're now part of the club. So yeah.
You got this. You got this. You do have the instincts. You got this. Enjoy.
Well, thanks, guys.
And-
We'll see you again in 6 months if we're still alive.
Hey everybody, David here. Just wanted to give you a quick update. We recorded this episode a few weeks ago, and I am happy to tell you that Will and James now have 2 beautiful, healthy baby girls. They were born earlier this week, and surrogate and dads and babies are doing great.
So something great this week that has happened is everybody around me seems to be going to the Taylor Swift concert. Everybody. My children have let me know that everybody in town is going to Taylor Swift. And I'm going to say that something great is Katy Perry, because we are not spending $10,000 to go see Taylor Swift tonight, tomorrow, or the next night. But I did counter by saying, to my kids, Katy Perry has a standing show in Vegas, and it would be literally cheaper for the entire family to fly to Vegas, stay in a hotel, and see Katy Perry for maybe $85 instead of Taylor for $8,500. And they were like, yeah, that sounds more fun anyway. So, you know what? Frankly, a little moment of levity for my something great is, frankly, Katy Perry wins over Taylor Swift. Boom.
Nice. So my something great this week is an app. It's called Skyview, and I'm very much obsessed with this app. And all it is a app where you open it and then it kind of, triangulates where you are and you point it to the sky. You can point it in any direction you want and it will basically layer the actual what you're looking at. So you could point it to the ground and you'll see the ground a little bit. And then on the other side, you'll see all the stars, the planets, the satellites, all the things. So if you see something in the sky, you're like, is that a satellite? Is that a planet? Is that a star? What is that? You can literally point your phone up and it will tell you, and you click on it and it'll say, oh, that's Mars. And here is the orbit it's going in. It is so fucking fantastic. So if you're ever camping or whatever, and you can like have a really great vision of stars, it is such a fun app.
Don't you think of the people who have made those apps as being legitimate geniuses? Can you imagine if somebody came up to you and said, hey, David, for Mary Vaughn, we need you to develop something on your phone so that you can put it at the ground and see what the sky looks like off of Australia right now. It makes my head explode thinking how in the hell that technology exists.
That and Porn MD, honestly. Those are the two things I'm fascinated with.
Yes, from the stars to
the dirt star.
And that's our show. If you have any comments, suggestions, or general compliments, you can email us at gatriarchspodcast@gmail.com.
Or you can DM us on Instagram. We are at Gatriarchs Podcast. On the internet, David is at David FM Vaughn everywhere, and Gavin is at Gavin Lodge on Thursdays.
Please leave us a glowing 5-star review wherever you get your podcasts.
Thanks, and we'll smell you next time on another episode of Gatriarchs.